Okay guys, hey, I'm putting together a winch and cradle system, and thought I would share my thoughts, real quick thoughts on a couple things that I've learned as I'm getting this system. So anyway, here we go. So we went with this Smittybilt cradle. We got two of them. We got a couple guys that desperately need these for the work they do, and we're gonna try them out. So this is what we decided to go with. That's a part number 2811. Now here is one little issue here. I don't know if it's going to be an issue, but on the box it says fits up to a 10,000 pound winch. Well, when I talked to the guy, he said that these cradles support up to a 12,000 pound winch, and you go online and you look at this part number. Well, it's part number's right there, 2811. It says from 8,000 pounds up to 12,000 pounds. So hopefully it fits, or hopefully it works good. But I'll tell you right now, with this particular winch, it is tight. I'm going to assume that for any of your 10 to 12,000 pound winches, it's going to be tight. It may not even fit. So here's a measurement of the inside of this. Is if I can get the crazy camera in here. I mean, it's just under 6 3/4 inches, and then the plate is about 11 and a half, and then
You didn't try to sell it yet?
no, it's not mine.
Oh.
And then the handle is 26 from handle to handle. Now these holes, at least the far outsides, are supposed to be a 10 by 4.5 from here to here. I think is what it's called. Most your 8, anything I've seen, your 8 to 12,000 pounds seems to be that standard 10 by 4.5. So it did fit, although the holes weren't quite lined up, and it made it very difficult to get the bolts in. See if I can do that. These bolts right here into the winch there, so that was not a perfect fit. Who knows where the mistake was made, but anyway, I guess that's kind of the nature of things. So I did have to fight that a little bit. These bolts on the instructions show to go the other way, but as big as this winch is, actually as small as this cradle is, I had to take these off, turn them around. I don't really think there's going to be a problem with that. But anyway, that's the deal. Now we've got another winch cradle over there. This big one here we bought from a local place in Tupelo, Mississippi, and this cradle is much bigger. Although it didn't come with handles, we had to weld the handles on there. But it's like a 10.5 or something, so it's plenty big. And now this winch here, this is a Woods winch, and if we would have bought that winch to put on this cradle made for a 12,000 pound winch, there's no way that would have fit. That winch was way big. So you're gonna have to be careful about when you're ordering stuff. Check your measurements, because just because this says it's a 12,000 pound winch, that doesn't mean it's going to support it or that it'll bolt in there. Like I said, it's really tight with this winch. I mean, there's just no room; it barely fit in there. So anyway, that is kind of where we're at so far. I'm not going to go into details with this winch or an unboxing, because there's probably other videos out there. But that's it. You know, there were some specs there, if that helps anybody. We went ahead and bought this winch just because it was pretty cheap, and at this point we couldn't justify like twice the cost for a Warren winch, although they're probably better. We'll see, but for twice the money, we decided to go with this thing. The other thing I like about this winch is it's sold at Harbor Freight. There's Harbor Freights everywhere, and if our guys are out you know, in another state working and they have a problem with something, they can just go to a Harbor Freight and get another one. We don't want to be messing with internet and a mail service when we need something. So because of the availability, we decided to go with this Badlands a winch, and it seems to be pretty well built, but you know, we'll try it out and see what happens. The only thing right away that I don't like about it is it's definitely not what I would consider a wide spool. I think is what you would call it. So they've got it pretty well wound up perfectly in here, but it's bunched up right here on this side. It almost wouldn't free spool out because it was so tight. So there's not a whole lot of room up in here. Like, let me show you this one. This is what I would probably consider a wide spool. There's tons of space in on this. So if you're wheeling in and you don't get it perfectly wound, you'd have a lot less chance of it bunching up and getting caught, and it's a lot of room under there. So that's the other thing when you look at winches, which I kind of forgot about until this point. But be careful on your winches, because when they're tight fit, it's almost impossible to get it back in properly, and so it takes a lot of time and work to get it wound in there just perfectly so it doesn't bunch up on you. So that is the only downfall that I'm finding with this winch currently, but we'll get some time on it here in a week or two, and then we'll see how it goes. If we have any problems or find some major dislikes, I will definitely report back as soon as we have any of those. So hopefully this was helpful. Take care.